Good afternoon everyone, hope you're all well. Right, well this is a bit of a different video. First time you're ever gonna see me selling stuff on the channel, but not merchandise. Basically, I'm having a massive clear out of all my sort of old camping gear, stuff that I don't really need anymore, and sort of whittling it down, finding what works and stuff like that, and stuff that I don't really need anymore. And I thought, well, I'm thinking of sticking it on eBay, but I thought first off I would offer it out to any of you out there, you know, that follow the channel and stuff like that. So I'm going to be selling all of this stuff that you see in front of us. To here you've got 4 different tents. So there's a one at the far right here, that's a Mountain Hardwear Sprite 1 man tent. It's one of the first ever backpacking tents that I actually bought. Next to it is the Gogh Solo 1 man backpacking tent. I think I got it for about 35 quid off of eBay, brand new. It has got fiberglass poles. It's about 1.5 kilos I think. The Mountain Hardwear I think is about 1.5 as well, I'm not sure. Next door you've got the Northridge Coal Light 1 man tent. That's a very lightweight, really good quality little backpacking tent. I think that's about 1.5 or maybe 1.3, and that's in really good condition, really good. I mean, all the stuff's in really good condition. I've really looked after it and stuff, but I only set it up the once. It was an old video. Look back through the channel if you want to see it, and yeah, basically it was a bit cramped for me to fit in, but a lot of other people raved about it and, you know, said how good a little tent it was. And then next door is the Van Gogh MYX 200 2 man tent, which is about 2 kilos, around about 2 kilos. That's mine and Candice's old tent. It has got a broken pole on it, but it still works. The fiberglass pole was split at one point, but it's near where the join is, so it still works. There is a splint in there as well, like a metal splint, but I'm sure a bit of gaffer tape will sort that out. Still got all the pegs. All the tents have got all the pegs in them. Some of them, they're not the original pegs, but I've replaced them with new pegs, and in some ways better pegs, so you're getting a bit of a deal there. I'm not going to put a price on any of this stuff at the moment. I'm just going to offer it out, and basically anything you're interested in, get in the comments below, or send me a private message, or send me an email, pttomhill@hotmail.com. Make sure you put the title in the email thing, otherwise I wonder who it is. And yeah, let us know if you want any of this stuff and we'll decide on a price. So that's the tents. Then you've got in the middle here, I'll just zoom in and show you smaller camping items. We've got an OEX rucksack rain cover, which should fit between 25 litres and 45 litre rucksacks. It's got like a drawer cord sort of fastening to it, and it's that luminous green colour, so for extra visibility and stuff. I've never actually used that, so that's brand new. Next door you've got a blue and orange, I know, bright colours, Poncho tarp. I've done a few camps with that before. It's by some abstract company off of eBay called Diverse, and yeah, it's in good condition. That it's a good little poncho tarp, apart from of course the colour, but I'm sure someone could find a use for it. Then below that you've got 2 OEX gas stoves. First off, the big one with braided cable on it is the XT3. Nothing wrong with it. I've used it a few times, but it's in pretty good condition. The only thing I didn't like about it, it's a bit bulky, it's a bit heavy for me. I'm trying to cut weight down. and I just thought I've got too many stoves and stuff and it hardly gets used. It does flare up a little bit, I'm not going to lie, but if you know how to control it and use a lower gas setting, it should be fine. Next door, this one is absolutely brilliant. This is the OEX XT2, so it's a standard sort of gas stove really. The O-ring's good on it, very very powerful. Reasons for selling it, I just thought it was a bit bulky and not as light as I could go. Of course now I've got the Outkit Kraku, which is much lighter, does the same thing, so I'm selling that. Both got their original stuff sacks. Below that we've got the Gogh cotton sleeping bag liner. Once again I've got 2 silk sleeping bag liners already, so I didn't really need this one. I just kept it as a spare for if I have people staying over or I need to lend camping equipment out. And yeah, that's your specs there on it. That's been used probably once or twice and it's been cleaned every single time. Then on to an Osprey 3 litre hydration bladder. So I've used this a few times before. This is a really good bit of kit. Reason I'm selling it, I don't use hydration bladders that often, and when I do, I certainly don't need a 3 litre bladder. So, and I don't drink plain water either, I like my flavoured water, so yeah, kind of didn't really need have a use for it. It's got like a solid ridge back system to it as well, so if you've got it in a frameless rucksack like a lot of mine, it's perfect for that. Really really good quality, good build to it, says that. Then there's this OEX rain jacket here, and it's a size large I believe. I've used this a few times before. Basically I wanted something smaller, more compact, lighter weight. The red was a little bit too bright for me. The cuffs I weren't a fan of, the Velcro thing, but once again I'm sure someone might find a use for it. So I'll model that for you in a second so you can sort of see what it looks like on a human. I use human and in the broadest possible sense when it comes to me anyway. Then onto sleeping bags. So we've got 3 different sleeping bags I'm selling. This one is a Snug pack jungle pack. It's like a red synthetic summer sleeping bag. I'll get that out in a minute. You've got the Gogh Hebog Classic, so it weighs just under 1 kilo, and I'm sure you could probably pack it down smaller than that with a compression rucksack. It says 1 to 2 seasons. You could probably push it to 2, I'd say. Maybe 3 at a real push if you wore loads of clothes and stuff. And then finally, sleeping bags, you've got the OEX Roam 200 2-season bag. Weighs 1.3 kilos. I've used it a few times, but once again I've looked after it. It's in really good condition. Those 2 there I've probably used maybe twice, and once again looked after them. This one though, really really good quality, very thick. It says 2-season. I've used this in winter and I've been absolutely fine. So, but everyone sleeps differently, different temperatures of course. So yeah, really good quality bag that. Very bulky though, very thick. That's about the smallest you can pack it down to. So of course once again I wanted something a bit more compact and slightly lighter as well, but yeah, still a decent bag. Sleeping mats that I'm selling, you've got the Carrymore, I think it's called the Z Pad, or it's similar to like a what do you call it, Thermarest Z Lite. So I've done a review on this a while ago, a long time ago actually, so that's worth checking out for more details on it. But it's that accordion style. It's not silver coated, but it's a good little pad. Used that a couple of times. And then underneath that, which everything's on top of, is an actual Thermarest ridge rest, full length, silver coated. Doesn't fold up accordion style though, it rolls up, so it's a little bit bulkier, hence why I'm selling it. So yeah, that is all the stuff. I'll show you each bit in greater detail, and I'll include photos and stuff like that so you can have a look at all the stuff. So like I say, get in the comments below the video or send me a private message, or I don't know if YouTube's done away with that now, which I can't understand why, or send me an email at pttomhill@hotmail.com, and yeah, let us know if you're interested in this stuff. We'll agree on a price. Okay, so this is that OEX rain jacket. So it's got some good zips on it, and you can zip it right up to the neck. Then the hood, if I can find it. So the hood has got like a little semi-stiff sort of brim to it, and that comes right over. So the cuffs you can tighten up with that velcro, like so. It's got a couple of big pockets as well on the sides there, like maps and food, whatever it is you're carrying on you. Hasn't got any inside pockets or a breast pocket. It has got armpit vents as well, which you can close up or leave open. I would advise leaving them open so you don't sweat as much, because if your arms are down here, the rain's not going to get in, so you might as well keep yourself cool and dry. Yeah, you can sort of see the inside of it, and yeah, it's a decent little jacket. It does the job. You might want to reproof it with some, like, you know, waterproof like spray stuff for like camping products, things like that. It's got a little drawer cord on the hood as well. And yeah, I've looked after that. I got it next to new at a really good price. I think I might have got it for about £20, so let's make a price on this now. Let's say £15 for this jacket. Let us know what you think anyway if you want it. Right, well, that's the Mountain Hardwear Sprite one-man tent all set up. Really good quality little tent this, and lightweight, and considering sort of the weight and size of it as well, it's pretty decent. You've got that little bit that juts out to the side, which gives you a lot more room internally. It's got like a little window there as well, so you can see through. Just the build quality on it's just good. You can sort of, you know, tell just by the feel and everything. It's one of the first tents I ever bought. Part of me thinks, why am I selling it? But I'm selling it because I hardly use it anymore. There is only one small bit of damage, and that is there. You can just see it, that little hole there. So I put my finger next to it. That gives you a size comparison. Yeah, so it's nothing that can't be fixed, but I thought I'd highlight it. So this tent I paid, I think on eBay, I think it had one previous owner, they'd looked after it really well as well. I think I paid about £85–90 for it. So that'll give you an idea in sort of, if you want this tent, you know, we can decide on a price. So sort of anything less than that really, that's just a rough idea. Now it only takes 9 pegs to set up, so they're not the original pegs that come with it, but I've included these extra long tent stakes, and that was a pack of 10, and it's only taken 9 to set it up. So you've got a spare one there as well. It didn't come with any guy lines, although there are attachments for guy lines. To be honest with you, it's such a sturdy little tent, you probably could get away without guy lines on it. Very easy to set up. You've got all these little clips here, tension adjusters, so basically it all clips down onto the inner tent. You could probably keep both parts together and thread the poles through, set it up like, you know, dual skin setup, rather than having to set up the inner and then the outer. So it's pretty decent. Next up, tent for sale, is my Gogh Solo one-man backpacking tent. Weighs about 1.5 kilos, maybe a smidgen under if you strip the pegs out and use lighter ones. The pegs I'm providing are like kind of heavyish steel aluminium full length shepherd's hook stakes, and it takes 16 pegs to peg it out. That's including the 4 guy lines, and I've included 1 extra as a spare. It's a good little bomb-proof tent. Fiberglass poles. Now this pole here at this end has got a split in it, but when you put the pole together, the sort of like, what's it, the little connectors, the tubes, you know, that it all slots into, hold it in place perfectly. Maybe some gaffer tape round it just to strengthen it up would probably do the trick. I dare say you could probably buy replacement poles for this tent fairly cheap, but to be honest with you, it'll work just fine. I mean, I've been using it before in the wind, the rain, sort of lots of different weather conditions, and tested it out, and it held up really well. And I didn't know that the pole would split. It was only after I found out, and I thought, oh, I'll see what it's like, and it held it together, and it still worked fine. So, but it's up to you. I got this tent on eBay, brand spanking new. I think it was about £30 or £35. Let's say £30. So anything below that, really, I would say probably the minimum what I would expect, I would accept for it, is like 15-20 quid really. I've looked after it. There's nothing wrong with the inner fly. The guy lines are all solid, you know. It's got all the pegs and stuff like that. It's in great condition, and it is a great little tent. The only thing that's missing are the instructions and like the fire retardant signs inside, because I cut those off to try and shed weight. But other than that, I mean, do you really need them? You know, I mean, I think we all know kind of the safety regulations with tents and cooking and stuff like that, so it's kind of obsolete really. But yeah, that's my second tent to show you that I'm selling. So this is the 2 closed cell foam sleeping mats that I'm selling. Over the back here, that's been weighted down by the other 2 tents, the Thermarest Ridge Rest silver coated pad. It's a decent pad that, and it's lasted. It's one of the first ones I bought. It does roll up, it doesn't fold up unfortunately. That's the only drawback to it, but it's a full length pad. Yeah, that silver coating's useful for, of course, bouncing your body heat back up from the cold ground, so should keep you warmer. My advice though, you could use it on its own, but if you want to go really comfy and be assured of like a good night's sleep, I would say use an inflatable mattress on top of that as well, whether it be a half pad or a full length. You can't go wrong then. Next one is this Carrymore, I think it's called a Z pad or something like that. That does fold up accordion style, like the Thermarest Z Lite, which I've got, which I really rate. And yeah, this one hasn't got the silver coating on it, so if you want, you might want to put like a silver space blanket down, or a silver car windshield reflector down, or have an inflatable on top of that as well. But yeah, that's the 2 mats anyway. We'll get back to the tents and the sleeping bags now. So the first sleeping bag I'm selling is this Snug Pack Travel Pack 650. I know it weighs under a kilo, it might even weigh about 650 grams, hence why I bought it. Now it's only a thin sleeping bag. It's designed as like a a summer bag, I guess. It's synthetic, and yeah, it's quite thin, so summer trips it's fine. It's got a little zip pocket inside to store valuables in the night. Drawstring hood. It's a mummy shape. Haven't got the original stuff sack for it. In fact, I don't know if it came with one when I bought it off eBay, so I've just included this dry sack there to stuff it in. But yeah, it's a good little sleeping bag. Left hand zips all work fine on it, and all this is coming from, I should probably mention, a pet free and smoke free home as well, so should all smell good. And it's got these little loops at the bottom here to hang it up by if you was drying it or whatever. Next sleeping bag, we have this OEX Roam 200 bag, weighs 1.3 kilos, and it's synthetic again. It's meant to be a 2-season bag, but like I said earlier, I've used this in winter and I've been absolutely fine. I got this off of eBay, brand new, it still had the tags on it, for £12, which is a steal for this sleeping bag. I know in Go Outdoors and like brand new in the shops it costs a lot more than that, so I wouldn't expect anything more than £12 for it really. Of course, it's got a really thick sort of cushioned bit in the hood there. Inside you've got like a little velcro pocket. The reason I got it so cheap, I don't know if it was like a factory second or anything, basically the print there you can see is printed onto it there, and that was it, and I got it that cheap. It's a really nice thick good quality sleeping bag, 1.3 kilos, nice colour. It's a right hand zip, all the zips work fine on it. Comes with the compression sack. I do believe there was like a waterproof dry bag that you can put it in and sort of compress it down a bit, and it had loops on the dry bag so you could strap it to the outside of like an OEX rucksack. OEX have designed all their equipment so that you can strap it to the outside of things or the inside. A lot of their stuff's got like little loops, webbing loops on. I had to get rid of the stuff sack, I'm afraid, because it got damaged. I tore like the top of it off. I was using it as just a dry bag for other stuff, and yeah, that got damaged at Who Fault on the island, so it won't come with that. So as I say, I'll knock a little bit of money off the price for that, as you're only getting that really. It seems only fair. You've got little loops at the bottom as well, just to hang it up from if you're drying it, or sort of letting it, as I say, synthetic, so it's not down, but just to let it loft up a little bit. Very thick, cushiony foot box to it as well. Yeah, it's a really good bag. I mean, when I've had it in bivvy bags before and it's maybe got a little bit damp overnight, well, it didn't really affect its warmth rating or anything. It's, because it's synthetic, it's a pretty bomb-proof sleeping bag, I'm not going to lie. As I say, it's a shame it's not lighter, or it doesn't pack down smaller, because it is really good. It's really warm, really comfy, and it does the job. So if you're not too fussed about the weight of your kit, this could be the one for you. So yeah, as I say, I got it for £12, so I'll do it a little bit less because it's missing that dry bag. And last but not least, in the sleeping bag department, is this Gogh Hebog Classic. Now this is probably the cheapest sleeping bag of the lot that I've got to sell. So this one was about £10 brand new. I can't remember where I got it from. It was some outdoor shop. It might have even been something like Sports Direct or somewhere that was selling cheap stuff like Gogh. It's still pretty good quality. It says on the bag it's 1 to 2 seasons. So yeah, you could probably push it to 2 seasons, maybe 3 at a real push, but it's very much a summer bag. Synthetic. It weighs 0.3 0.96 kilos, so you're just under a kilo, so it's still quite lightweight. And you've got the dimensions there, so it comes with that simple stuff sack. It's not like a compression bag or anything, and it's a left hand zip, little velcro fastening there, zips all work fine, slightly cushioned hood on the top there. It's a mummy style bag, hasn't got a little internal pocket for valuables, and it's a nice shade of blue as well. I quite like the colour. Got a slightly thick foot box there, and then some little loops at the bottom for hanging up. So yeah, left hand zip. And yeah, that's my other sleeping bag. So as I say, 10 quid. I've used it maybe twice. I think I've lent it to someone once. It's been looked after. It's, as I say, it's perfectly clean. Yeah, so that one cost me a tenner, so anything under a tenner really you can have it for. But yeah, just a cheap, simple little sleeping bag. I know a lot of people that are watching this are probably gonna, you know, be like gear Nazis or gear experts or whatever, or so-called gear experts, and go, oh, that's a load of rubbish, you don't want that. You know, you buy cheap, you buy twice. Well, bollocks to it. I mean, this could serve a purpose to someone. You know, if you're just getting into wild camping, or even if you don't use it for that, if you just need a sleeping bag for at home or whatever, it still serves a purpose. It's got a use, otherwise people won't be producing this stuff. So you don't always need the fanciest gear, trust me. I've got a great little summer bag by Carrymore, cost me about 12 quid. It's brilliant, I'm happy with it. So yeah, fuck you all the gear Nazis, I'm not too fussed about that. Someone will like this anyway. I just want to give all this stuff a good home. So yeah, let us know if you're interested in that one. Also, it's worth mentioning, if you would like to sort of buy sort of a few of these items, like for example, if you were just getting into wild camping, backpacking, camping, whatever you want to call it, or you've got a festival or something, and you need like a complete, or more or less a complete gear list, I'm more than happy to maybe like put stuff together in like a group of items. Like for example, these are just examples: a tent, a sleeping bag, a sleeping mat, a gas stove, stuff that I've got more than 2 of for sale. We can, you know, you can put whatever sleeping bag, whatever tent, whatever sleeping mat, if there's a stove going, whatever stove you want, and we can agree on a price if you want, like for the whole lot, like a little deal, like a kind of like a wild camping starter kit deal, something like that. So let us know if that's something you'd be interested in. If not, you can just buy the stuff separately, entirely up to you. I'll leave it up to you anyway, but that's one option that you have got, okay? It's not, it doesn't have to be these exact items, but you know, a tent, a sleeping bag, a sleeping mat, a stove. I've only got one other stove for sale, but yeah, you get the picture anyway. Okay, we're almost finished in showing you what I'm going to be selling here. So this is the North Ridge Coal Light one-man tent. Now, I never really liked this tent. I set it up once when I bought it to kind of review it, and the inner and the outer don't really pitch very well together. If you try and sort of peg that out with that inside it, that goes really saggy and stuff, and it falls on you, and you try and then clip it to the inside of the outer of the fly sheet, and they don't reach far enough. So I don't know whether it's they've designed it wrong or I'm not doing it right, but I just can't get along with it. So I thought, well, I can't really sell it to you if I'm not sure how to set it up myself. So I was having a play around with it and stuff, and I thought, right, I'm going to take that out and just peg out the fly sheet. And what I think I've created now, I know it's probably stating the obvious, all of you are going, Tom, anyone could do that, but I feel like a genius, okay, so bear with me here. I've basically created like a tarp tent. It's a pretty lightweight fabric as well. It's a 6,000 millimeter hydrostatic head, so it's pretty bomb proof. and I could fit a bivvy bag inside that, and yeah, like a little ultralight bivvy bag, like my Rab Survival Zone or Outkit Hunker bivvy bag, you know, something that's, you know, smashes down pretty small, and yeah, create like a tarp tent, as it were. And there's tons of space in there. You could even probably fit 2 bivvy bags in there if you was doing a 2-person trip under there. It'd be a bit tight, but it could work. As a 1-person, you could easily, I can sit up in it like this with the inner taken out. I can cook in there. The door you can have open at, you know, various different lengths, so if it was windy you could zip the door up halfway, have it half open and still cook under there. So you've got a built-in windshield, but it's not going to gas you because of, you know, the gaps around the underside of the tent. And this door you can open halfway. It's got a massive air vent under here, just under there when you zip the door up, hence why this little peak comes out. Yeah, all in all, I think I've just salvaged something from this, because I was thinking, I don't know if I can sell it to anyone, I don't know how to set it up properly, I'm just going to end up binning it. And I thought, I think I paid about 65 quid for it, and it'd be a shame really to waste that money. So anyways, apologies, I'm not selling this one now. So if you've watched the beginning of this video, you might want to watch all, hopefully you've watched all of it to find this out. Anyway, I'll get there in the end. Get your words out, Tom. So yeah, not selling that. I'm going to play around with that and see if I can, yeah, get a little tarp tent set up out of it. All I've got left to show you, that's the Mountain Hardwear Sprite one. All I've got left to show you is the Van Gogh MYX 200, which of course I've been using recently with Candice. She's paid half for this tent, so whatever money I make from it, she gets half of it. And yeah, just to be honest with you, I never really liked the tent anyway from the start. You know, I tried it on a few trips and it was okay, it wasn't bad, you know, there was a bit more room in it, but there's something I didn't like about it, I don't know why. So yeah, I'm selling that. Now of course you've seen it in recent videos and stuff, so what I'll do is I'll throw up a few photos of it here from like recent trips and stuff like that. And yeah, it's been well looked after. The pole at the front end has been broken, but it still somehow works. Now you could fix it with like the splint that comes in the kit and some gaffer tape, or you can probably buy a replacement pole, but as a result I'm going to be selling it a lot cheaper. Now I got this on eBay second hand but in good condition for £40, so me and Candice paid 20 quid each, so I'm probably looking for anything around the £20 to £30 mark for it really, because of that pole. But apart from that, it's in brilliant condition. I thought I won't bother setting it up now because, as I say, I'm going to just put some photos from recent trips up with it in. But yeah, there you go, that's the final tent that I'm selling. Just to recap, not selling the Northridge Coal Light now. I'm going to try and make a tarp tent out of it, but everything else, I've got most of it in there now, is for sale. So what we'll do, as I say, get in the comments below, drop me an email at pttomhill@hotmail.com. if you can private message me still on the channel, do that as well. Let me know what stuff you would like. If you live locally, we can arrange a meet-up if you want. If you live a long way away and I've got to post it, I'll have to find out what the postage costs will be first, but keep in contact with us and we'll sort something out. Like I say, I just want to give this stuff a good home. I've no use for it anymore, I've got way too much stuff, and yeah, whatever money I make from it, I'll probably end up buying more camping stuff again, but I thought it's better than just sitting in a cupboard not getting used. Hopefully someone will put it to good use and have many little micro adventures and trips and stuff out of it. So yeah, get in the comments, let us know if you're interested in anything, Thanks for watching, guys. Thank you very much for your support as always. You'll see me again soon. Cheers. See you later. Bye.